Well, folks, I hope you're all doing mighty fine today, or night, depends on whenever you're watching this. Commanding Officer Kanawha here, and in today's lovely little video, we will be discussing the history on the three surviving Southern Pacific P-Class Pacifics. I try to make this video as best as I can, however, information on these three locomotives was a tad bit difficult to find. So I apologize for any misinformation. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you spot anything, because honestly I know there's going to be people out there who know these engines better than I do. If I get anything wrong, please tell me. It'll be greatly appreciated. And enjoy. Originally built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works on December 1st, 1923, for the Southern Pacific Railroad, P-10 Pacific 2479 was one of 14 P-10 Class 462s and 114 Pacifics built for the espee and subsidiary routes from 1906 to 1923. She was delivered to the railroad with the sole purpose of hauling passenger trains, such as the Overland Limited, at speeds of 60 miles an hour. In February 1937, disaster would strike. While hauling the OW, 2479 would hit a car stalled on the tracks at 70 miles an hour, causing the engine and tender, as well as several passenger cars, to derail. After the wreck, despite being heavily damaged, the Southern Pacific would rebuild and reinstate 2479 back into service. In 1956, due to diesel electrics proving to be more popular among railroads like the espee, 2479 would be retired and donated to the Santa Clara Fairgrounds in September of 1956. She would become only one of three out of 114 Pacifics built for the Southern Pacific to survive. Luck would turn in favor for the locomotive nearly 3 decades later. 2479 would be acquired by the Santa Clara Valley Railroad Association for a restoration to operate once more. In 1994, the SCVRA would merge with the San Jose Trolley Corporation to form the California Trolley and Railroad Corporation. Since then, extensive work has continued on the 2479. Though she is starting to look like an engine again, the 2479 is in desperate need of help through donations and volunteer work before she can run once again. As we said previously, the 2479 is one of 3 462s from the espee to make it into preservation. Let's take a look at the other one, shall we? Southern Pacific 2467 was built in January of 1921 as part of the Southern Pacific's P-8 class of Pacifics. Just like the 2479, the 2467 was built for high-speed light passenger service. Her service life was very quiet, and just like the 2479, she would be retired from the espee in 1956 due to dieselization. She would be put on display in July of 1960 at Railroad Park in Oakland, California. She would sit idle at this location until a group dubbed Friends of 2467 came along with the idea to restore the mighty Pacific to operate once again. In July of 1990, restoration work would officially kick off, and by June of 1999, the locomotive would be completed. The 2467 would make her first public appearance at Rail Fair 1999 at the California State Railroad Museum. After Rail Fair, the 2467 would go on to pull several more excursions, including a doubleheader with sister P-8 Pacific number 2472. Today, the 2467 now sits quiet and idle at the California State Railroad Museum. Though the locomotive is serviceable, there are no current plans to bring her back to steam. Now, what about the third and final sister? Southern Pacific 2472 was built in January of 1921 by the Baldwin Locomotive Works for the SP's P-8 class of Pacifics for, you guessed it, passenger service between Ogden, Utah and Oakland, California. After being outpowered by the railroad's MT-class Mountains, 2472, as well as several other Pacifics, would be sent to Sacramento to work on commuter trains there, as well as the occasional freight. On February 7, 1957, she would be retired from revenue service and would be donated on April 10, 1959, to the San Mateo County Fairgrounds. She would remain at this location up until 1976, when a small group of volunteers selected the engine for a rebuild to operating condition. After a multi-year painstaking restoration, 2472 was fired up and began operating. In 1991, she would be present at Rail Fair along with fellow SP steam locomotive GS4 class Northern number 4449. In 1992, the 2472 would double head with the 4449 and pull multiple excursions over Caltrain trackage. Since then, the 2472 has pulled multiple excursions on the Niles Canyon Railroad. However, in the spring of 2015, the Golden State Railroad Museum announced that they will be leaving the Niles Canyon, bringing along the 2472. It is planned that the engine will be allocated to the Northwestern Pacific Railroad, yet the move still has yet to occur.
The boys are the wittiest, the girls are the prettiest.